Hey, it's morning. It's Monday.
And it's Macabre. We did it out of order today, you silly gooses.
We're messing with you guys. Let's see who the real fans are.
We pulled your legs, and your legs popped off because they're peg legs because you're a bunch of pirates stealing this content.
We paid for that demographic research a ton, and it all came back peg leg pirates.
All came back
Market
baby.
research money well spent.
Yeah, it's Slinging Dingers. There's a large market research team that give us the detailed analytics that we're looking for every week. And it turns out everyone who listens to this is actually 3 spiders.
So we thank you, 3 spiders. If you share a web...
Well, it's more like a multiplicative of 3 of our entire listenership because they are all 3 spiders that have amalgamated into a single being to listen.
So each
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so each single one of our listeners is 3 spiders in a trench coat, is what you're telling me.
Yes, exactly. Which means you guys got 18 legs. Enjoy that.
Hey, that was close.
Hey.
The math almost added up there, but we're going to keep going.
What do you mean? It's 3 sets of
24.
6.
Spiders have 8 legs.
Oh, wait, they have 8 legs. The fuck. Oh, right, they're Octobers. I forgot. Okay.
Dummy, you don't know the difference between insects and arachnids? All right, on with the show.
Welcome to Monday Morning Macabre, the show where we talk about spooky, creepy spookies. As you can see, we already touched on spiders, so we're like 1 for 3.
Yeah, you guys are so scared of spiders.
Now we just got to bring up like ghosts and
goblins,
ghouls, witches, bats, warlocks, necromancers, voodoo priests and priestesses,
hockey mask chainsaw guys,
the letter Q,
QAnon.
Ooh, spooky and real.
That's what makes it so spooky.
Everybody, I hope you
still think we're cool.
This is the Thanksgiving episode, technically, isn't it? I didn't even think about this.
It is. Pass the cranberry sauce. We're having mashed potatoes. Ooh, the turkey looks great.
Happy Turkey Day to those of you
Americans
sucking down turkey dogs.
And you Canadians, we're about a month late. Hope yours was great.
Month late, $1 short. That's what I say.
It's a holiday where we celebrate how the white people couldn't grow anything on their own. And
you know what? Still might not be able to. I don't know. I haven't kept up with agriculture in the last couple hundred years.
How come we never... You know what? We don't keep up with agriculture enough.
I know, and I am subscribed to Agriculture Weekly, but it just sits on my toilet shelf.
Dude, I'm subscribed to Ag Mag.
Oh, you're an Agmatic?
I'm an Agmatic Mag subscriber.
You're a pragmatic Agmatic subscribing the mag to your Agnes?
But yeah, that's everything about me. You just listed them.
Damn, dog. People want us to start talking about shit.
that and what did you say I was a couple weeks ago? That I'm like 6'8"?
Yeah, well, you're something like that, 6'8", like 360 pounds, but it's all in your ankles.
Yeah, these
got
things...
real long ankles and real thick ankles, and then it's just like a real skinny little guy on top.
My ankles are like thick with 3 C's, dude.
You look like Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Oh boy. Well, gang, if you get that reference, you were raised on early 2000s cartoons, mid 2000s.
I don't know, but it won Emmys.
Did it?
It sure did.
Holy!
That's a great show.
Holy Kilimanjaro. So happy Thanksgiving, upcoming Thanksgiving, and today I'm going to be bringing that ooh, that's a spooky one to Scones.
I will be saying that.
And he's going to say that and multiple times. And actually, this is a listener subjection. Listener submission.
Oh, I hope not.
Listener suggestion. Shout out to CB Croswell.
Oh, CB Cross.
Long-time listener.
I always see that name popping up.
Early morning jogger, which is a hell of an achievement.
Early morning jog?
Early jogging jongster, and I can't get up. Well, I have to get up at like 5:30, 6 a.m. because my daughter starts wilding out then. But
I
could not imagine then strapping on shoes and being like, "Let's hit the streets, baby." So shout out to you.
Remember that time at your bachelor party when afterwards you had to go on a run with your boss?
I do remember that time.
What a wild time.
What a wild time. I ran into both of my bosses at my bachelor party.
And I got drunk.
That's the worst place to run into your superiors. Especially with a bride-to-be sash on.
Hey, you rocked that sash until that one asshole came and tried to rip it off.
Anyway, we're getting off the point. Tonight, Scones, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest inspirations for a young man named Bram Stoker and his little book ski called
ditty?
Dracula. A little ditty called Dracula.
Et tu, Dracul?
Because, yeah, C.B. Croswell hit us with some often overlooked inspiration of Dracula, and that is the Indian spirit monster thing called Vetala.
Vetala. Band, you know what that means. Band, play that shit.
Play that DJ, spin that shit. All right. This is from Atlas Obscura, a wonderful website that we mentioned many a time.
Yeah,
because
we're frequent.
Great. So, across generations and around the world, the name Dracula now calls to mind a pale man in a tuxedo and cape, eyes bloodshot and fangs gleaming.
And some widow peaks in his hair.
Yeah, he's got those widow peaks, and he looks like he's going to sell me car insurance. Originally introduced in Bram Stoker's 1897 novel of the same name and given that familiar look by Bela Lugosi in 1931, Dracula has since become the world's prototype vampire. I
have that book like right here. Right next to me.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, let's just read that. Why are we doing this?
Okay, here we go.
Okay, and chapter 1. The Boy Who Lived.
Private Drive.
I'm a what? Dracula has
Why you made him so American?
I'm a what? Shut the
no
fuck
way,
up,
Hagrid.
Hagrid's pulling my fucking chain. Dracula has since become the world's prototype vampire, spawning a world of imitations, variations, parody, and more, from Lestat de Lioncourt to Edward Cullen.
Boo.
Stoker's Dracula is widely believed to have been inspired by Vlad III, ruler of Wallachia in what is now Romania, in the 15th century. But few are familiar with another, older creature that is believed in part to have contributed to his creation, the Hindu spirit known as Vetala. As legend goes...
Is Vetala in Smite?
No. And he's also not a knockoff Nutella, unfortunately.
Well,
but we can fix both of those things. As legend goes, the Vetala is a ghoulish trickster of varying description that haunts cemeteries and forests.
That's what I want on my epitaph.
Yeah, it sounds like that's the senior, or that's the, what is it called? Fuck.
The senior quote.
No, not senior quotes.
Oh, the superlative?
Yeah, that's the superlative I wanted the most. Was most likely to be a ghoulish trickster of varying description that haunts cemeteries and forests.
I'd vote for you.
All right, thank you. Maybe that'll make it in the next year's award show.
Oh my god, and this is Jessie. She got most popular. Oh my god, and this is Darcy. He got most likely to be a ghoulish trickster that haunts forests.
A varying description that haunts cemeteries and forests. I'm just so gaunt in the picture. It's just like horrific. I'm so pale. Oh, I love it. Hanging upside down from trees and waiting for humans to play pranks on. We got a little trickster. They are said to exist in a realm between life and death and have the ability to see into the past, present, and future. So they're essentially the Christmas ghosts.
So it sounds like
Ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future.
Just Scrooging on people.
Yeah. They do yell, "Get Scrooged on, World Star," and then they just peace out. This boundless knowledge makes them invaluable to sorcerers who often seek to capture and enslave the Vetala to use its powers for their bidding. Growing up, my father taught me that Vetala could see everything, recalls a priest at the Pasadena Hindu temple in Wow. I fucked that so hard. Growing up, my father taught me that the Vetala could see everything, recalls a priest at the Pasadena Hindu temple in Los Angeles, who grew up in the Indian state of Gujarat and wished to remain anonymous.
I wonder how close your pronunciations are.
Oh, it's going to be really bad. There's a lot of Indian words, and listeners, if you haven't seen me or heard my voice, I am not a native of India. So we'll see how we go. We'll see how it goes. But just a fair warning.
We try our best without trying that hard.
Yeah. They could detect the good and evil inside of you. We are forever cautious around cemeteries because you never know what might be waiting for you. The Vetala legend dates back to the 11th century when it was made popular through Vetala Pachvimshati, a collection of stories that children in India still read today. Also known as Baital Pachisi, quote, my first introduction to the Vetala was in school, an Indian mother interviewed for this piece who also wished to remain anonymous says.
Dude, like, I take for granted, like, how young our culture is. Like, when I'm hearing kids are reading shit from the 11th century, like, as little kids.
Yeah, we have, like, George Washington on a fucking boat, and we're like, yeah, that was, like...
fucking, like, Dinner with Dinosaurs, the Magic Treehouse book. They're reading 11th century manuscripts.
That's wild. We used to get these graphic novels called Amar Chitra Katha, each of which would narrate an Indian story, some of which were historical, some mythical, and some folk.
That's pretty cool.
The Amar Chitra... I know, that sounds pretty dope. The Amar Chitra Katha comic books, which included stories from Vetala Pachvimshati, were often shared with cousins and neighbors at home or passed around during free time in school.
Did you ever... Sorry to interrupt again, but did you ever have, like, the biblical comic books?
Yes.
And it's like Samson fighting something. It's like...
and they were trying to make it so fucking cool, and you're like, dude, just stop.
These Hindu ones sound way cooler.
None of these are making these wafers taste any better in my mouth. Just drying it up. In this collection, originally written in Sanskrit, a tantric sorceress asks King Vikrama to capture a Vetala. Each time the king approaches the creature, however, it presents him with a riddle along with some unusual rules. If the king knows the answer, the Vetala will go free, flying back to its upside-down perch.
Oh, like a bat.
Yeah. If the king does not know the answer, the Vetala agrees to be taken as his captive and go with him to the sorceress. So I don't know why that would be the way that sounds like a
lose-lose or a win. I don't know.
It's like, I think that might be Vetala's like kink or something where he's like...
So Vitalis is the inspiration for Dracula, the spirit.
Yes, it's like, we'll get to like
so
the
that adds up like that
of it.
He hangs upside down like a bat.
Yes, that is a big thing that is taken from Vetala. Right. So, and if the king knows the answer but does not speak it out loud in an attempt to outsmart the Vetala, his head will explode into a million pieces.
Wait, Vetala?
No, the king's.
Wait, why would the king do that then if his head's going to explode?
I don't know. I also love that like whoever like wrote this way back in the day was like, and his head's going to explode into a million pieces. Like, it's so childish.
It doesn't make any sense. Why would the king ever do that if his own head's going to explode into a million pieces?
There's a lot of questions. I don't know. I don't know how to answer this.
I love this lore purely because from where I'm standing, it makes no fucking sense.
It makes no goddamn sense? Yeah, that's the dream, brother. Vetala Pachvimshati features 25 stories with the same conceit, and in 24 of them, the king answers the riddle correctly. Thus, again and again, the Vetala escapes the sorceress. But the 25th time, the Vetala asks the king the following. If a prince marries the queen, and a princess marries the king, and each couple has a baby, what is the relation between the two newborns? What a stumper.
Wow, what a weird incest riddle.
I know, yeah. And literally the next sentence is, this weird incestuous question is what finally stumps the king. Because he does not know the answer, the Vetala is forced to go with him to the sorceress. But during the journey, the Vetala reveals that the sorceress's plans to use this power to kill the king and take over the realm.
Why would the Vetala... So if going to the sorceress is a bad thing for the Vetala, why would the Vetala ever try to trick... Why would he just ask, like, what color is the sky?
Yeah, because he's... Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a weird upside-down world they lived in. The two then decide to team up to kill the sorceress. So after peace has been restored, the Vetala offers to protect the kingdom and come to the king's aid whenever he needs it. So he sounds like a real, like...
The 11th century India sounds like a place with very different logic and values than us.
Yep, it's like opposite day back then. So while this popular story depicts the Vetala as a trickster with the capacity for good, today the Vetala is characterized as far more demonic.
Oh, hell yeah.
In the Mythical Creatures Bible, The Definitive Guide to Legendary Beings by Brenda Rosen, the Vetala is called a hostile spirit said to cause madness, miscarriages, and kill children. Hashtag hell yeah, brother.
Sounds boss.
Sounds like a fucking sick dude. Likewise, In the Encyclopedia of Demons in World Religions and Cultures by Teresa Bain, the Vetala is defined as a vampiric demon that possesses humans and causes their feet and hands to twist backwards, their skin to turn green, and their fingernails to become long, poisonous white talons.
Oh, that's way more metal.
Yeah, so now we're getting into that real good, spooky Dracula stuff. Now, these descriptions are far cries from the original Sanskrit text of Vetala Pachvamshati, in which the Vetala is depicted as a more nuanced creature, and this transformation can be blamed, at least in part, on British explorer, writer, and gadabout Sir Richard Burton.
Oh, that guy's such a gadabout.
Yeah, that's like such a good word to describe like every British explorer ever.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, I'm a gentleman. Look at all this stuff.
Hey, I'm just going to gadabout and take everything from you.
We'll just steal your entire culture to put into a museum.
So Sir Richard Burton was the first person to bring home the Kama Sutra and Vetala Pachvamshati to Western audiences. Hey, shit, Richard. Old Dick Burton with that Kama Sutra.
Whoa, hey, whoa.
Hey, this is a kid's family show.
Whoa, hey.
So, not only did Burton choose the word vampire, a word with its roots in Eastern Europe, for his translation of the word Vetala, as opposed to something like spirit, but the illustrations that accompanied his text showed a taloned creature with pointed ears, bulging eyes, leathery wings, and a long tail, thus transforming the Vetala into the malevolent monster it is depicted as today.
I have a question.
Okay, Scones in the front.
This might be more for
No, not you, other Scones.
Oh, sorry, hold on. I'll sit down. Yeah, hey,
okay,
me in the back.
Tiny Scones.
Yeah, hey, it's me.
Hey, Tiny Scones.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah. This is good. Keep going.
Yeah, so vampire bats, I know they live in like Central America, in Mexico.
Yeah.
So
avocados from Mexico.
I don't know if they live in India too, but or Eastern Europe, but how crazy is that they would depict vampires as like leathery winged bats, but then like it doesn't even have to do with the vampire bats because they didn't even know about them?
That's pretty crazy, little Scones.
All right, little Scones, get the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm back.
Hey, what's up, big Scones? Yeah, that's who knows? Who? I don't fucking have a good answer for you, but it is pretty wild that
is wild. If they don't have vampire bats over there, which I don't know,
they
if they
probably do.
But like the fact that a bat would even be associated with a vampire before they were even like came over here, and then they, if that's true, they came over here and were like, what the fuck? There's vampires fucking everywhere.
They're like they're a global phenomenon. They're like the Beatles. So, further cementing his new depiction, in his translating collection, which he called Vikram and the Vampire, Burton chose to include only 11 of the 25 original stories, greatly diminishing the depth of the Vetala character.
I don't know. Vikram and the Vampires is my second favorite Magic Treehouse book, though.
What was remember like the Schoolhouse ones where it was like, my lunch lady's like Al-Qaeda insurgent or whatever? You know what those ones called? Or like the janitor's a werewolf.
Yes,
they're all like that,
yes, but I like the first one you said. They were all like, the janitor's a werewolf. Not the lunch lady's an Al-Qaeda insurgent.
Yeah, that's one of them. I'm pretty positive it's the first one. And then they took a hard right turn.
The gym teacher is an incel.
Oh, boy. Okay, so scholars have rightly criticized Vikram and the Vampire for these shortcomings. In the Ocean Story, C.H. Tawney's translation of the Katha Sarit Sagara, N.M. Penzer, a British independent scholar and fellow of the Royal Geographical Society, calls Vikram and the Vampire, quote, not a translation, but an adaptation, and a very free adaptation, too. To his credit, Burton never claimed that the Vikram and the Vampire was an exact translation. He says, it is not pretended that the words of these Hindu tales are preserved to the letter. I have ventured to remedy the conciseness of their language and to clothe the skeleton with flesh and blood, he wrote in the introduction.
So he fucking whitewashed the whole thing.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to make this cool as fuck.
I'm going to make it so that I can bring it to Europe without like the church fucking
he basically,
killing me.
He made like a slight alteration so he could sell it on Etsy. But Penzer's response to this disclaimer doesn't mince words. This is putting it very mildly. What Burton has really done is use a portion of the Vetala tales as a peg on which to hang elaborate, quote, improvements entirely of his own invention. Regardless of scholars' critiques, the damage had been done. Vikram and the Vampire was marketed as the English translation of Vetala Pachvamshati, and readers took the depiction of the Vetala as authentic. One of these readers was Bram Stoker.
The
author greatly admired Burton and was fascinated by his writings about the Indian occult, and particularly Vetala Pachramshati. Dracula's transformation into a bat that hangs upside down, for example, his reptilian-like climbing abilities, his powers, and his centuries of wisdom all may have been drawn from Burton's translation. Since Dracula's publication, the Vetala has remained alive and well, but in recent years, it has morphed into something closer to Burton and Stoker's idea of the spirit.
So,
go ahead.
So, like, just to bring these Monday Morning Macabre episodes together.
Yes.
So we've talked about Bram Stoker and, like,
yes.
So his journey to the northeastern United States, and, like, tuberculosis was where he got the inspiration for, like, the blood sucking and the taking the life force. And then the Hindu occult is where he got the powers.
Physical characteristics.
Yeah.
And the powers.
Really cool that we've tied that bow so neatly, which we totally intended.
Yeah, we did intend to do it, and we said, we got to wait for season 2 to really bring this home. So here we are.
Yeah, season 2 is where we tie up all the storylines.
Indian production companies have also capitalized on what is more of a homegrown horror movie villain in 2020's Batal, now streaming on Netflix. Ooh. We should watch
Patreon
that, dude.
Epo?
Hey, Patreons, I think we got a new episode for you.
Patreon Epi.
A remote village falls prey to a colony of Vetala working alongside officers from the East India Company to take over their land.
The East India Company.
I'm in, and it's going to be I don't know if there's probably subtitles.
There has to be.
In the movie, the Vetala is reimagined as a vampire-zombie hybrid. Okay? The modern Vetala, then, is an amalgamation of cultures, stories, and misinterpretations adopted, adapted, and then adopted again. And while the Vetalas of today's pop culture is a far cry from the original text, those stories remain in the hearts of Indian children and grown-ups. When asked whether he believes the Vetala exists in some form on Earth and whether it might have an influence on us, the priest at the Pasadena Hindu temple leaves things open. Quote, as with any myth, any frightening story or creature, some people believe it, some don't. But I've found that when something goes amiss, when there's a sound in a cemetery, an unexplained shadow or disturbance, people change their minds.
Ooh.
And that, my dear boy, is Dracula's inspiration.
The Vetala.
That's
pretty rad. I mean, like...
Yeah.
That it's cool to know where it comes from, especially since like Dracula and vampires are such a part of Western culture. Like no American kid grows up not knowing like what a vampire was or who Dracula is.
It's in every medium. There's literally like I'm watching like Disney Junior now, obviously because I got a little tiny baby girl, and there's literally a character who's just a vampire. She's just a little vampire girl.
Dude, I literally love Count Chocula. It's a great cereal.
Once it's gone into cereals, it's all hit the big time. It's all downhill from there. I need to find out what's that little vampire show. I was like, this is dope. This is like my favorite one. Vampire girl show. What's it called?
Disney Junior.
Vampirina. Yeah, Vampirina. It's literally just a vampire chick who like comes to like America, and her dad's like a vampire, and he can like run super fast and fly and shit.
Do they drink blood?
No, obviously not. But like all the American kids are like, your dad's a weirdo. And it's like he's literally breaking the sound barrier, flying around trees and shit.
I love that they're vampires, but they don't like drink blood
They don't do anything vampiric, and they also don't make any attempt to hide the fact that they are in fact vampires.
It's so weird that this like the defining characteristic of this creature is like not included in so much of like the romanticized fascination
and
with
it's just white people ruining everything they get their hands on.
Amen.
We just can't stop.
The whites are at it again.
It's literally like, okay, we're gonna it's just taking culture and making it not as cool. Like every single time, every single goddamn time. But shout out to King Vikram.
He got fucking clowned, dude. He got clowned and had to turn it over to the sorceress.
Absolute.
Oh, he got clowned 1 out of 25 times.
Yeah, he's got a
great ratio.
Yeah, that's a good percentage. That's a solid KD.
Also, hats off to him that whatever this weird game or situation is, he never seems to be down the creek.
Yeah, he's always. I still don't understand why
he can get fooled. He can get it right. It all just seems to be on the Vishnu.
If a daughter has and a dad have a kid, and a mom and a son have a kid, how would they relate?
Who am I kissing?
Oh boy, nothing like good old Vitala's on a Monday. Vitala sounds like something you'd order at like a Starbucks.
It does. Also, Hindu lore is fucking sick.
Yeah, there's some really cool. We should do like Bakasura sometime.
Oh, that'd be sweet. I also had to read in college at that college that we went to.
Look who can read.
I went. You were there too.
Yeah, but I was on computers.
No,
I was playing Space Command.
I had world literature, and we read the what's it called? The Via Rama, the story, the novel about the story of Rama.
The
something Rama.
Yeah.
And how he saves the princess from the demon king of Sri Lanka. What's his name? He's in Smite.
Andy.
No, he's in Smite.
Not Rama, because that's the bow. Ravana. What's probably Ravan.
It's Ravan.
It's Hindu. Yeah.
Ravan, the demon king of Sri Lanka, and he comes over and takes Rama's wife, and then Rama goes and is like, "What's up?" And then he kicks his ass.
Okay, so Jason Segel's just Ravan, but I am Richard Burton taking Ravan and then whitewashing him, making him Jason Segel, and we've come full circle.
Amen.
He's taking my goddamn life.
Yeah, if you want to read the ancient, world-renowned text about Rama, it's really, you can just instead hear us talk about Darcy and how Jason Segel came and took his girlfriend.
How many English professors have tried to make a funny joke based off of the term lit being like a new fun hip term?
Way too many. Like that first day they get up on the chalkboard like English and then put in parentheses lit.
English is pretty lit, and then like a fire emoji, and then every kid.
And then we all go wild cheering. I just like start going
just
nuts.
Pick them up and lift them up and bring them out of the school.
We all throw our hats into the center like yes.
We all throw our water bottles and they all land perfectly upright.
We're so in touch with the young generation right now.
I know we're babbling at this point, so we're not going to keep you any longer, guys. But hey, shout out to all the Patreon subscribers. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for keeping the show going and helping out. If you'd like to become a Patreon subscriber, check out our website for more information, www.mondaymorningmacabre.com. Follow us on Twitter at MMMacabrePod, and give us a little like-a-roni on Instagram at Monday Morning Macabre.
And subscribe and comment, because that shit helps.
Yes, big review. If you haven't reviewed yet and you like this, the tent, it really helps us out in the old algorithms. Those beautiful, beautiful algorithms that I just can't seem to muster up the courage to talk to.
I have them written all over my windows.
Yeah, it's like the number 23 or whatever.
It's like, I walk into those like Harvard bars. I'm like, what? I thought there'd be like equations on the walls.
My boy's wicked fucking smart. As always, gang, have a good Mundi.
Have a good Kiati Mundi.